we are not feeling good at all. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Allie, and as you can tell, I'm sick. Not fun. My nose, it just feels so irritated. I'm over it. I don't even know what this week's episode was called. It was the finale.
What was this episode called?
So I apologize in advance. Please bear with me. We're gonna keep this nice and short because nobody wants to listen or see this right now. The finale, the ending, episode 10 to American Horror Story Apocalypse. Did you watch? Now, it was called Apocalypse then, and like I said last week, this fully wrapped up the season. Now, I did notice there was a lot of mixed emotions over the finale on Twitter, which you could follow me using this handle right here, and people liked it, people didn't like it. There are parts of it that I did enjoy, but I think the ending I did not. So let's recap real quick. So we start off the episode with having Coco and Mallory going under the identity spell, and they survive post-apocalypse, and then their whole execution plan goes into effect. We learn how Dinah Stevens becomes the popular talk show host is because she sold her soul to the devil. This is why she's not on the side of the witches when we see her after they bring all three of them back. The apocalypse happens, the witches return, they bring them back to life, back to where we left off earlier in the season. One of the biggest surprises that there were was having Marie Laveau show up, Angela Bassett's character, which I know I talked about a couple episodes ago. I'm so glad they did because it was like a surprise. Dinah Stevens really thought that she was gonna be the voodoo queen, but obviously she wasn't. So she came in and she was like, "You thought," and kills her, and that's the end of Dinah Stevens. Then the whole battle between Michael and the witches begin. Miss Mead dies, Angela Bassett's character Marie Laveau dies, Madison dies, and between this, Mallory recovers her witch identity, like who she was pre-apocalypse. She now remembers that they had a plan to do the spell that goes back in time, so they're rushing her to like a tub to finish the spell. She ends up getting stabbed by Coco's boyfriend, and you're thinking, crap, that's the end. But Miss Cordelia was like, no. So they set her aside. Cordelia ends up crossing Michael in the hallway, and he's like, this is it, this is how it's supposed to be. And she's like, you're probably right. You know what? You're gonna see me die. You're not gonna be happy about it. And she ends up stabbing herself, okay, in exchange for Mallory's life. Mallory comes back to life. She's able to finish the spell. She goes under the water, and she's back in 2015. So this all happened quickly. I mean, I was shook that Angela Bassett's character came back. She killed off Dinah Stevens real quick, slashed her throat. And then we have Mallory trying to save the day, and then she ends up getting stabbed. Like, what? And then Cordelia goes off and stabs herself, and I'm thinking, why is everybody getting stabbed right now? So with Mallory going back to 2015, we see that we're back at Murder House. We're having Constance and Michael in the scene where she sees him having had killed the priest or whatever, and she actually goes off on him this time, telling him like, why do you have to kill everyone? And she kicks him out. So he's sad, he's crying, boo-hoo-hoo. He's walking out of the house, and he turns around, he gets hit by a car by Mallory, of all people, of course. How did none of us see this coming? And she runs him over like 4 or 5 times. Constance runs over to Michael, and he's all like, please take me to Murder House so that I can be with you forever. And she's like, no, and just leaves him and abandons him in the street, and he ends up dying. That's the end. So because Mallory's still in 2015, she has to continue living her life even though she had a previous life, because everything is still happening since the apocalypse didn't happen. So like this makes sense. So she ends up showing up to the Coven school, and she meets Cordelia, and Queenie's alive, Zoe's alive. She mentions Madison still being in hell, that she will go get her. Myrtle is mentioned because since the apocalypse didn't happen, Cordelia didn't go back and call her out of the dead, whatever. So Myrtle's, back to being dead. Then of course she brings back Misty. We see Nan again, and this is where Cordelia kind of learns that, I guess she learns, I don't know, but Mallory just mentions that everyone's doing her favors because of what she did. The episode wraps up with the couple that we saw at the very beginning of the season that were saved because they had special like DNA or whatever. They end up still meeting, falling in love, marrying, having a kid, and that kid ends up being another Antichrist because he ends up murdering his nanny, and then the people who worship Satan like Miss Mead and then the other man and lady show up talking about like,
hello, we're here for your son.
And it's like, great. So it's like, are they gonna have to go back again? I don't know. And that's basically the season. I enjoyed the wrap up because that's just the fact that like everyone is still alive. I'm happy that they defeated him, but the way that he died was so cheesy. It's like, how are we gonna make him die? Oh, we'll just run him over. Like, but it also makes sense because this is before he really comes to terms with like who he is and his powers. Getting hit by a car is basic and understandable, but still, I wanted like more of a battle. There was not enough of a battle. We don't see any like Harry Potter shit, like, you know, like magic coming and like battle. Like nothing happened like that. So I was kind of expecting more of like this big scene. The whole season overall was pretty good, and 10 out of 10 would recommend. Apocalypse makes the list of top favorite seasons to American Horror Story. A lot of characters that I enjoyed, especially of course all the new witches. Thank you for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Comment below what you thought about the ending. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you expect to happen? All that jazz. And don't forget to subscribe because it really helps me out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Yikes.